Hello and welcome to the Empowering Family Health podcast. I'm your host, Joanne Callahan, and today on the podcast we have Austin O Keefe, who is a distributor of DXN Health and Wellness Solutions. Now, in this episode, we are going to be talking about medicinal mushrooms, and these medicinal mushrooms are probably best known in the realm of traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM, and other Asian healing systems as well. And those cultures really consider them to be highly valuable tonics for life, for energy, and for longevity as well. So myself and Austin, we're going to be talking about how these medicinal mushrooms can really help to boost your immune system. And right now we really need that, and especially when we're coming into the winter season as well. Also how they can give you more energy and help you sleep better. So all that coming up, but first please do watch this video right to the end. It really does help with my algorithms, and do like and subscribe and share with your friends as well. You can also go to the Facebook page, like the page there as well, so you know that you're getting fresh content. All that right here on the Empowering Family Health podcast. So let's get started. Austin, you're very welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Joanne, for inviting me onto your podcast. Great to be here.
Brilliant.
Give information about wellness, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the conversation that we're going to have, Austin, because you have a lot of information about various different wellness foods and products, and we're going to be talking a lot about mushrooms. But before we get into that particular aspect of it, tell us a little bit about yourself, Austin, and maybe a bit of background and why you chose to get into this type of business.
Yeah, I have a varied background. Marketing and sales would be my background, and I always wanted to start my own business. I did start my own furniture business about 15, 18 years ago. I set up a bedroom furniture shop, and
Wow.
that was going really well until a certain thing happened in 2008, 2009, big recession. So that really knocked me back, and I had to close it. So I was just looking for other things to do after that. And a friend of mine said, there's this new coffee with mushroom in it. And he said, it's going well in America. What do you think about it? So it just happened the owner was in Limerick the week later. So I went down and tried the coffee, and he gave me some supplements as well. And I just had an amazing change. I mean, I had my brain cloud was lifted. My mental I was clear mentally, and in the morning I was waking up straight away with no problem, just jumping out of bed. Energy levels were up. I could remember people's names better than before. I could see clearer. Just so many things happened, and the only thing that changed was taking these capsules and drinking this coffee, which had this Ganoderma mushroom in it. And so I said to myself, will I tell anybody about this, or will I spread the word around? Because
keep it to yourself.
Keep it to myself and be better than everybody else, or should I spread it around? So I said, well, if it's going to help me, why not help other people as well? So I actually got into the business of promoting this, and that was 10 years ago now. My first coffee with this Ganoderma in it. Then 3 years ago, I found this company which were the grandfathers of the coffee with mushroom, and they had better prices, and they had a stockist in Ireland, and a more ethical company. And I joined them 6 years ago, which was DXN. So I've been with them all that time, and
Wow.
I've felt great ever since, and never felt down, and always energetic. And
It sounds almost too good to be true. But the main ingredient in a lot of these is mushrooms. And so tell us, Austin. So we've loads of these superfoods, and mushrooms is one that we don't often look at really, and we really have an ample amount of. And there's various different types of mushrooms as well. And we know mushrooms are a fungus. And can you tell us a little bit about mushrooms in general? And then we might go into some of the specifics. But why are mushrooms in general so good for our health?
Mushrooms are fascinating. The fungi family, they're not an animal and they're not a plant. They're right in between. It's a very unusual species. And where they grow from anything. It could be from a nuclear waste zone or a dump. The first thing that grows is a mushroom. It's just amazing that it just comes to life from nothing. And it's been used for thousands of years in China. The emperors there used them. There's one documentation of it being mentioned just over 2,000 years ago. A poem was written about this Chinese emperor using this reishi mushroom, and he used it for immortality. Now, obviously, it doesn't give you immortality, but it does help give you health benefits. Now, I don't know why. I mean, all mushrooms have nutrients and vitamins and all sorts of things to help. And because it's not a plant and it's not a human, I think it absorbs into the body maybe quicker than other things. So it's just our human bodies just like it better and absorb it better. Yeah. But it's just great for life, for a life force, and that's what Ling-zhi, which is the Chinese name for the mushroom, is a life-giving force.
Wow, that's incredible. And like thousands of years ago, how they practiced health, I think it's been forgotten over the years. But now there are all these ways of wellness from thousands of years ago. They're starting to pop up again, and like they have been, but even more so now than ever. And like if they've done it thousands of years ago and it worked, and it's still popping up now, it goes to show how powerful they are. Now, I was over in China last year. I was blessed to get over there November last year before all the lockdowns and all this, and I brought home a jar of reishi mushroom, and I think it's just absolutely fantastic. You can put it into various different things like smoothies and what have you. Smoothies is a great one to just put a spoonful in or whatever, and it's great for hormonal health and balancing your system, really. And really, at the end of the day, our whole health and well-being is about, and there's various different things that people benefit from. Some people's bodies like it more than others, but really it's about getting your body into balance, because your body itself is fascinating at heal, and your body just wants to heal all the time. And your body is just so intelligent. Like, it just blows me away how powerful our bodies are. And really, we can give it all the nutrients and supplements and all of this, but it's really, and sometimes we can overdo it and we can do it the wrong way as well. So it's really about listening to our body and what's working for our body, but ultimately getting into that place of balance. And mushrooms is a very, very good way of doing it. So there's various different names as well. Reishi mushroom, that's also known as Ganoderma as well, am I right?
Yeah, see, every country has a different name. In China, it's called Ling-zhi. And then if you go to Japan, it's called Reishi. But some Europeans went to China about 150 years ago, and they saw this mushroom, and they called it Ganoderma, because Gano means bright and shiny, and derma is skin, dermatology. So Ganoderma is bright, shiny skin, because the mushroom we have called Reishi has a bright red, shiny skin on it, and that's where it comes from. So
I never knew that.
Yes, it depends on where you are, but I like the name Reishi. But Ganoderma lucidum is the Latin name, because every plant is a Latin name, every mushroom is a Latin name.
Yeah, so because on the jar that I brought home, it has that Lu Ching. Is that what you call it? What's it? The Chinese one?
Ling-zhi.
That's what's on the jar. Yeah, and then when I look at the ingredients, Reishi is mentioned somewhere, and Ganoderma is mentioned somewhere as well, I think. But because I was a bit confused. So all right, so it depends on the country. They call it different names depend on the right. Okay,
exactly. In the West, it's more Ganoderma is what we call it in the West.
Yeah. So Ganoderma reishi, this type of mushroom is it's been documented as like a miracle mushroom in some articles I've seen it. What kind of benefits have you seen people? So you have it in supplement form, and it comes in teas and coffee, or like a powder. What kind of benefits are you seeing people are having from consuming this product?
Well, there are hundreds, about 400 bioactive ingredients in Reishi Ganoderma. It has a lot of antioxidants, has magnesium, iron, zinc, potassium, calcium, lots of those things. But the effects it has on people is more energy, mind, clarity of mind. That's what I find myself as well. And also, you feel good. It relaxes the nervous system. So if you feel stressed in any way, this can help you de-stress. So it it just gives the body what it needs to do its work, its own thing. Like it's not a cure for anything. We never say that, but it's like giving ammunition to an army to fight whatever it is. It's not giving the army. So it gives the body what it needs to look after.
That's very well explained. Yeah, you're right, because there's lots of different 400. Oh my God. So there's lots of different things in there that body needs. We need our essential minerals, and I can hear there's minerals in there, and lots of different ingredients, as you say, and it's given the body, I call it ingredients, giving the body ingredients to enable the body to use those ingredients and however amount that it needs, and the body will use what it needs to get the body back.
Especially the Reishi Ganoderma especially has a lot of polysaccharides, which are good for anti-inflammatory and for the immune stimulating effect. It also has triterpenes, which are good for anti-tumor, believe it or not.
Wow.
I'm not making any claim, but check it out yourself, anybody listening in. Anti-tumor and anti-inflammatory as well. So there's a huge amount of those in a lot of mushrooms, but especially in Ganoderma reishi.
Yeah, and our immune system is really important to keep our immune system strong all the time, and especially now. But you're right, the inflammation, we have lots of inflammation in the body, and inflammation comes from stress as well. It comes from all the bio processes that go on in the body every day. But also we can have inflammation from our thoughts, believe it or not, because our thoughts create a physical experience, a chemistry in the body. So our thoughts, stress, and there's a lot of stress going on at the moment. There's a lot of fear and uncertainty, and this is causing worry and anxiety. And of course, that alone is going to cause inflammation and cause a negative impact on the immune system as well. So we really need to do what we can to help strengthen our immune system. And as I say, when there's too much inflammation, it just puts too many obstacles in the way for the body to heal itself, so that's what's really what's there.
Yeah,
really...
and it just had the reishi has different effects for everybody. So it doesn't matter who I give it to, they always have slightly different positive effects from it. So it's great that way. And there's very few side effects from this. It depends on how it's cultivated. It has to be cultivated organically and not using any insecticides and pesticides. So if it's cultivated the right way, you don't get any negative side effects. So it's all positive. Yeah,
because it's coming from a natural, I was going to say plant, but it's between a plant and an animal. Yeah, so it's natural. Tell us how, I'm really interested when you say it depends on how it's cultivated. How do they actually, what way is there a drying process, or how do they pick the mushrooms and until it comes into that powder form? What's the process?
Yeah, well, every company does it differently, and we think we do it the best. But the reason why is a lot of them are cultivated on logs on the ground, and that can, if there's any problems with the soil, that can affect the mushrooms. So they might have to use insecticides and pesticides and other chemicals. The way this company do it, they freeze dry rice and sawdust in a bag, freeze dry it so it removes all the bad things in it naturally, and then they put the mushroom seed in a bag into that, and they make it into vertical units so it doesn't touch the ground, and they don't use water in the process. Everything is done so that no insecticides no problems will happen with the mushroom. So it's
the best growth.
It's a natural process without affecting what's in the mushroom. And even when they take the mushroom out, some people they boil the mushroom to get the benefits from it. Others heat the mushroom in an oven. But what we do, this company do, is put the mushroom in a machine that revolves around, and all the bad bits go to the top and the bottom, and all the good bits go to the side, and they extract that part of it, so it doesn't affect the mushroom at all. It doesn't take away from it, but at the same time it extracts the best things from the mushrooms without harming the mushroom. And every 20 kilos of a Ganoderma mushroom that we have, we only use 1 kilo. So we're getting 5%, the best 5% of the Ganoderma. Whereas if you go to a Chinese shop and buy the Ganoderma mushroom, you get the mushroom as a whole, and nothing taken away. So we take the best, so it's highly concentrated.
Right.
So you're getting 20 times more than the normal mushroom in ours.
And is there a difference between, you know, the way you have the cap of the mushroom and then you have like the stalk? And I've seen mushrooms in various different places sold. Is there a difference between the top part of the mushroom and the stalk?
Yes, they have slightly different active ingredients. So with this company, separates the two. So one of our capsules has the stalk of the mushroom, and the other has the head of the mushroom, because they give different benefits. And what the company says is that the head of the mushroom is good for detoxifying, and then the stalk of the mushroom is good for balancing the body. So we usually take the two capsules together, and we usually get the benefits that way. I find that the stalk, which we call Ganocilium, is greater for energy. You feel more energetic with that. So that's what I use it for.
Yeah, and it's really important that we do detoxify, because again, it's enabling the body to come back into balance and to do what it's best at doing. Austin, can we go on to some various different types of mushrooms? I know we were talking the other day, and there was various different types of mushrooms that were available for different whatever you're looking for.
I mean, there's hundreds of mushrooms out there, and most of them, actually some of them are very harmful for you, they could kill you, but most of them have some sort of benefits. But there's only a few that really have powerful benefits, and one of them is cordyceps. The cordyceps is good for energy. It boosts your energy performance. In the East, they use it for sexual performance. Actually, they think it's good to improve sexual performance. So that's cordyceps, and it's one of the most expensive mushrooms out there. We provide it in capsule form. It's good for the lungs as well, and maybe that's why it's good for performance. If it improves the lung function, then obviously you can do better in energy and performance wise, and obviously, and it's good for the immune system. That's cordyceps. Check it out. I think the Chinese athletes use it a lot. And then the other big one we have is lion's mane. Lion's mane is good for regenerating brain nerves, and you can check the research on that. So it improves nerve regeneration. Now that could be good for Alzheimer's, but there has been tests done that it does improve memory function and brain function, memory loss and brain function. There's research on that. So lion's mane, really good for the brain. Check that out. Again, there's lots of research on any of those mushrooms. It's actually good for the stomach as well, the lion's mane. So they're the three main ones that we have. There are other ones out there, which I don't know much about, but
have you heard of chaga mushroom?
Chaga is another one, yeah.
Yeah, Jada, our friend Jada from the Your Holistic Academy. I've also interviewed her on this podcast. She talked a lot about Chada, and that's very much available. A lot of people aren't aware of that, and it's a very, very powerful mushroom as well. So that's another one. Tell us about the poisonous one. I know we see mushrooms growing out of the ground here. You know, I do a lot of forest walks and what have you, and I see mushrooms. I was in the Kildare farm, Kildare Stud, National Stud Farm, a couple of weeks ago, and I seen a massive mushrooms growing out of the ground. Now, they're obviously not edible, are they?
Well, I'm not an expert on other mushrooms. I only know the ones we have. So I would definitely not try any mushroom that's in the wild, because you just don't know. Even people that know a lot about mushrooms, they don't know everything about mushrooms, so they wouldn't know all the mushrooms that are out there. So no, I would only try supermarket mushrooms.
Yeah.
Any other mushrooms to try, I just wouldn't chance it. But these ones are the ones we have anyway, are very, very safe and beneficial.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. Yeah, because you're right. There are lots of mushrooms, and I know when I was growing up, I knew mushrooms were good for you, and we had the button mushrooms that you get in the supermarket. And as I was a child, I thought that I seen them grow on the ground, that it was safe to eat, but it's not.
No, I just don't know. And of course, there's the other mushrooms, the psychedelic mushrooms, which people use. Again, I'm not an expert in those, never tried them, but
that's a whole other conversation. Yeah.
Yes, won't get into that now. I'm not an expert in that, but
so tell us, you have the mushrooms in various different products. So obviously coffee is one of them. I particularly am a mocha fan. I love mocha. I don't drink coffee per se. I'm more of a tea drinker, but an odd time I'd have a mocha. And I don't like it too strong. I don't like a very strong mocha, because I tell people too much caffeine is not good for your sleep if you want to sleep well at night time. And I tell people don't drink too much coffee late at night because it takes a long time to break down. So tell us about the coffee that you have, and you have a mocha as well, because I bought it from you. Tell us, what's the difference between your products and, say, a regular, I'm not going to say any brands, but a regular cup of coffee?
Yeah, well, the head of the company, he started selling the mushrooms in capsules, and then people were saying, "Listen, what about coffee? Why don't you put it in coffee?" So he said, "Yeah, why not?" It was just an afterthought, and now it's become the biggest part of our business. Because
most people drink coffee. Most people, it's the biggest commodity out there.
It is, yeah. It's second biggest after water. It's the second biggest mineral, and after oil, second biggest commodity. So he decided, why not get the benefits of the mushroom to something we use every day? So he put it into coffee. So our coffee is it's Brazilian Arabica coffee. It's organic, so it's natural. So there's no insecticides or pesticides used. And when Ganoderma is added to it, it reduces the acidity, because coffee is acidic. So it reduces the acidity. And as well as that, you don't get the coffee crashes, because a lot of people, they have a coffee, and after an hour, within the hour, they're all pumped up and fired up. But in 2 hours, they're just worse than before. So this coffee, it reduces the effect of caffeine over a longer period of time. So you don't get the huge peak and the huge trough. You get a more balanced energy level and alertness over time. And again, a lot of the negative side effects with coffee, you don't get it with ours. So you don't get the jitters, the palpitations, the headaches, and the acidic stomach. All those things, they tend not to be with ours, because of the Reishi Ganoderma mushroom has the positive effects on it. So you're getting your real coffee without the bad things.
That's great, because one of the things that I talk about in relation to sleep is a chemical in the brain called adenosine, and caffeine mimics the molecular structure, actually mimics adenosine. So when you drink coffee, the purpose of adenosine, it's the natural process of it is, the more adenosine that you have, the tighter you get. So it basically it's part of your sleep pressure, or the longer you're awake, basically, and the more biological processes you have going on in your body, the more tired you're going to be. So it's a form of a measure. And when we drink caffeine, this molecule actually blocks those receptors. So that's why we stop feeling tired. And that's actually what's happening inside the body. And it's just fascinating. And so what your product because it has the reishi mushroom in that, it doesn't really create that per se. And then it's more alkaline as well. So it wouldn't have those crashes, as you say. So because when we drink too much of the caffeine, the regular caffeine, we get the high because it's blocking those receptors, and then when it wears off, we get that flood of adenosine again. So that's why we're like exhausted all of a sudden.
Well, there is actually from what I remember reading, that in Ganoderma there is adenosine in Ganoderma, so obviously that is close to the caffeine molecule, and so the body takes the adenosine before it takes the caffeine, which means you don't get the quick rush of the caffeine and then the crash. So that's probably the reason why people don't get the palpitations, don't get the jitters.
Right, interesting.
It's got adenosine in it, yes.
Yeah, so it gets there before the caffeine. Yeah, okay, brilliant. That's really, really interesting. So we're nearly coming to the end, Austin. So tell me, what's your favorite drink?
Of our drinks, is it?
Yeah.
We have what's called a 3-in-1. So it's got non-dairy cream, it's got organic sugar, and the coffee, as well as the Ganoderma.
So you're a coffee drinker?
Yes. I have that every evening about 8 o'clock. So I still sleep at night.
Right. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's obviously not brilliant. Okay.
Yeah,
because it does, as I say, the reishi mushroom can help to slow down or turn on the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest. So it really allows that to switch on, because for many of us, we are on the go all day long, go. And it's like we don't want to sit down and just rest. It's like, I don't want to be doing nothing. I want to be busy, and kept going and kept doing something. That's what most people's perceptions are. And it's a really, really important to be able to slow down, and even consuming something that can help to relax the nervous system, enabling for that as well. It's really important. And even throughout the day, like you said, when you first started drinking it, you noticed all these wonderful, amazing things happening, and you weren't sure what it was. And the only thing that you changed was what you were drinking, as you were saying. So even if you were to use one of these, use Reishi or whatever, Ganoderma, during the daytime in a smoothie or whatever, it really helped to set you up for the day, help to calm down that nervous system. Because sometimes when we get out of bed, we're like straight into it, like, you know, and whatever way your day starts, that's how your day is going to unfold for the rest of the day, and it has an impact on how well we sleep at night time. So starting your day off really well is really good. So helping to nurture your nervous system. So that's really what we're doing when we're taking Reishi or Ganoderma or whatever the name is, or any type of mushroom. What would you have to say to comment on that, Austin?
Yeah, well, check out some of the mushrooms. Reishi is, as I said, it's an adaptogen. So whatever is not right in the body, it can help the body change and improve. So, but I find it relaxes you as well. So with meditation and with Ganoderma and a few other things, it can help you. Obviously, drink more water. That does help as well. So
when you say adaptogen, just explain a little bit more about adaptogen for people who don't understand. So, you know, if you're really busy and you want to slow down, or maybe you're feeling tired and you want a bit of energy, explain what an adaptogen is in terms of that's how it works.
Yeah, whatever's out of sync in the body. Yeah, like if you lack of energy, then it can help improve energy levels. Also, blood sugar levels. There's some research to show that if your blood sugar level is too high, taking Ganoderma can help the body to bring it down again. Or if it's too low, it just balances out the body in whatever area there's a problem.
And the blood sugar is a really good point as well, Austin, because a lot of people at nighttime, they say they're waking up during the nighttime, and one of the biggest issues could be blood sugar issues. So because we do need a certain amount of glucose in our body at nighttime, because our brain is actually very active at nighttime when we're sleeping. So we do need a certain level. But for a lot of people, there's a lot of people with type 2 diabetes now at the moment, and obesity, and the blood sugar levels are out of balance. So at nighttime, and you may not even have type 2 diabetes necessarily, you could have had a big cake or something before you go to bed at nighttime, and you're going to have that sugar rush and that spike, and after the spike obviously comes that low, and that's what actually wakes you up during the nighttime. So blood sugar. So Ganoderma, these type of mushrooms can help with that as well. So maybe help you to stay asleep during the nighttime, getting you asleep and staying asleep during the nighttime as well. So there's lots of great reasons to consume it.
Yeah, obviously reduce your sugar levels late at night, and coffee too. Yeah, there's lots of things there. But yeah, it's a fascinating area, mushrooms. I'd recommend anybody to read and how they grow and how they propagate. I told you about them before. Interesting stories there too. It's just a fascinating area, and it's something you keep learning about.
Yeah, and I love the way you know, that it's alkaline forming as well in the body, because the body internally prefers the alkaline state, because if we're too acidic inside our body, the consequences of that is obviously our minerals are alkaline. So the body naturally, so intelligent that it is, it leaches those minerals from your bones. So you know, reducing the density of your bones or whatever. So that's one. And also diseases thrive in the body in an acid environment as well. So because it's alkaline forming, it's the body loves that type of a food as well. So that's really good. Austin, where can people find you if they want to have a look at some of your products?
Well, they can just contact me on Facebook, Austin O Keefe, or on AOK Cafe is the business page, AOK Cafe. Okay. I have a website as well, which is, I have it shortened with Bitly. You probably know Bitly, bit.ly /capital AOK - cafe, CAFE. But otherwise, you can just find my name somewhere, and I always put up informative blogs and stuff about mushrooms and the coffee and health benefits of what's happening. Yeah, so
brilliant. Okay, well, I'll put all that in the show notes as well, all your links as well, and the link to your blogs, because that could be interesting read for people as well to find more information. So Austin, if I was to ask you to leave us with maybe one empowering thought why people need to look after their health and maybe use mushrooms as a source for doing that, what would you leave people be with?
Well, I mean, everyone can do simple things to look after their health. One of them, as I said before, drink water is a simple thing like that. Just have a balanced diet, have plenty of greens and plenty of colors in your diet. Reduce all the whites in your diet, and try and have a regular sleep, as you know, regular pattern of sleep, and exercise. All simple things that people know probably that they should be doing, but they don't. They need to get into habits of doing little things every day, and that will help them. And everything in moderation.
Yeah, so a good routine and healthy habits. Yeah, and put the Ganoderma in your.
It's easy, to put Ganoderma in anything. You can have it in our coffee like we have it, or in the capsule form, or whatever way you want. You can put them add them powder into your foods.
That's
but
what I
it
do
will
into
help
my
in some
smoothies.
way. Hundreds of extra nutrients for your body.
Yeah, brilliant. So listen, Austin, thank you so much. We're at the end now, so thank you so much for coming along and being with us and spending this time with us and sharing your information and knowledge all about mushrooms and other health products as well, and the work that you're doing as well. So Austin, have a fantastic day and thank you again.
Thanks for inviting me, Joanne. Thank you very much.